These most rare and valuable old and dirty UK Elizabeth coins hide secrets few collectors know, tiny mistakes, rare minting errors, or limited issues that can instantly transform a dusty coin into a treasure. From the 50p elusive new Pence series, each of these forgotten coins has a story, a mystery, and a shocking value waiting to be discovered. Stop right there, because the old, dirty coin you're about to hear about, the one most people ignore, toss aside, or spend without thinking, has quietly turned ordinary people into stunned winners. I'm talking big money, hidden treasure, and a life-changing value hiding in plain sight. If you've ever seen a 1971 UK Elizabeth II new Pence coin, especially one that looks worn, dark, or wrong, you need to listen very carefully. Most people believe dirt means damage. In the coin world, dirt can mean destiny. Here's the mysterious part no one tells you. 1971 wasn't just another year. It was the year Britain changed money forever. Decimalization, chaos, rush production, confusion inside the Royal Mint. Millions of coins struck under intense pressure, using new designs, new metals, and experimental processes. And when that happens, mistakes happen. Those mistakes are where hidden treasure is born. The 1971 Elizabeth II new Pence coin, especially the large, old-style one, sits at the very heart of this monetary revolution. It looks ordinary. It feels heavy. It often looks old and dirty. And that's exactly why people overlook it. But collectors know better, because some 1971 new Pence coins have sold for hundreds, thousands, and in rare, verified cases, prices that shock even seasoned experts. Let me reset your attention right now with a truth that changes everything. Not all 1971 new Pence coins are equal. Some were struck on the wrong metal. Some were struck off-center. Some were double-struck. Some were made using damaged dies during the frantic early days of decimal coinage. And some were never supposed to enter circulation at all. One example stunned collectors when a heavily worn, dirty 1971 new Pence coin was authenticated as a wrong planchet error. It looked brownish, almost bronze instead of the normal silvery tone. That coin later sold at auction for over £3,000. The owner almost cleaned it, almost spent it. That would have destroyed the life-changing value. So let's slow down and make sure you know exactly what to look for. First, the date. It must say 1971. Second, the wording. It must read New Pence, not Pence. That wording alone places it in the very first year of decimal currency. That alone matters to collectors. Third, the size. This is critical. The original 1971 new Pence coin is large and heavy, much bigger than modern UK coins. If it feels chunky in your hand, you're in the right place. Now here's where things get intense. Look at the color. A normal 1971 new Pence coin should be copper nickel, dull silver gray. But if your coin looks unusually dark, yellowish, coppery, or uneven in tone, do not dismiss it. That could indicate a wrong metal strike or improper alloy mix. Wrong metal errors are pure big money. The verified wrong metal UK decimal coins have sold for £1,000 to £5,000 plus, depending on condition and rarity. That's not hype. That's collector reality. Now let me hit you with another attention reset. Check the strike quality. Do the letters look blurry or doubled? Does Queen Elizabeth's portrait look slightly ghosted or shifted? That could be a double strike or die shift error. These errors occurred when dies were misaligned or struck more than once during production. Collectors love these because they're visual, dramatic, and undeniably wrong. A strong double-struck 1971 new Pence coin can fetch £300 to over £500, depending on severity. Now look at the rim. And this part is crucial. Is the rim uneven, thicker on one side, thin, or missing in places? That could be an off-center strike or misshaped planchet. These coins look strange even to non-collectors, and that's exactly why they sell. Off-center UK decimal coins from the early 1970s have been known to sell for £500 to £2,000 plus at specialist auctions. Here's another shocking fact most people don't know. Some 1971 new Pence coins were struck using worn or cracked dies. This can cause raised lines, missing details, or strange textures on the surface. Many people mistake these for damage, but they are mint errors, and mint errors equal hidden treasure. In one well-documented auction, a heavily circulated 1971 new Pence with clear die cracks and metal flow lines sold for over £900. simply because the error was undeniable and authenticated. Now let me pause you right here that if your coin is old and dirty, do not clean it. Cleaning can erase microscopic evidence that proves authenticity. Collectors prefer original grime over polished destruction every single time. That dirt might be the reason your coin has life-changing value. Now, let's talk about a rumor that keeps collectors awake at night. There are whispered reports of 1971 new Pence coins struck on experimental blanks, possibly intended for other denominations during the transition. These are incredibly rare. If verified, they're the kind of coins that create bidding wars, and no confirmed public sale has ever gone unnoticed. When one appears, collectors fight for it. That's the level of big money we're talking about. And here's the emotional truth. Most rare coins are not found by experts with gloves and magnifying lamps. They're found by everyday people who stop and look. That jar in your kitchen, that drawer, that old coin you thought was worthless, that's where hidden treasure hides. Right now, someone somewhere is unknowingly holding a 1971 Elizabeth II new Pence coin worth more than their car. Maybe more than their yearly salary. The only difference between them and everyone else, they look twice. So here's your cliffhanger. After this video ends, you're going to check your coins. And there's a chance, just a chance, that what you find could change how you see money forever. Stop. Right now. Because the old, dirty coin you're about to hear about, the one most people toss into a jar and forget has quietly become big money. I'm talking hidden treasure shock value discoveries. And in rare cases, coins that have sold for hundreds, thousands, and prices that left collectors speechless. If you have ever touched a 1971 UK Elizabeth V new Pence coin, especially one that looks worn, dark, or just off, this could be life-changing value. Here's the mystery point. 1971 wasn't just another year in British coinage. It was the year everything changed. Britain switched to decimal currency, and the Royal Mint was under massive pressure. New machines, new designs, new metals, tight deadlines. And when history moves that fast, mistakes slip through. Those mistakes are where hidden treasure is born. The 1971 Elizabeth II 5 new Pence coin was never meant to be special. It was meant to be common, heavy, large, practical. But during that chaotic first year of decimalization, some coins came out wrong, and collectors pay big money for wrong. Let me grab your attention right here with a shocking truth. Most valuable 1971 5 new Pence coins look old and dirty. They don't shine. They don't sparkle. They don't look special at all. And that's why so many people spend them without realizing what they just lost. Now listen closely, because I'm going to show you exactly how to spot one with life-changing value. First, check the date. It must say 1971. Second, look at the wording. It must clearly read New Pence. That wording only appears in the earliest decimal coins. Later versions say pence, and that difference alone separates ordinary coins from collectible history. Third, the size. This is critical. The 1971 5 new Pence coin is large and thick, much bigger than modern 5p coins. If it feels chunky in your hand, you're already closer to hidden treasure. Now, let's reset your attention, because this is where things get intense. Check the color. A normal 1971 5 new Pence coin should be a dull silver gray, made from copper nickel. But some rare examples appear yellowish, bronze-toned, or unusually dark. That's not dirt. That could be a wrong metal strike. Wrong planchet errors are among the most valuable UK decimal errors ever found. Verified examples of early 1970s UK coins struck on the wrong metal have sold at auction £4,1,000 to over £4,000, depending on rarity and condition. Coins that look dirty are often the ones hiding the big money. Now let me hit you with another shock. Look closely at the strike quality. Do the letters look doubled? Slightly shadowed? Does Queen Elizabeth's portrait look shifted or blurry? That could be a double strike or misaligned die error. These happened when dies were rushed or improperly seated during production. Collectors love these errors because they are unmistakable. A strong double-struck 1971 5 new Pence coin can bring £300 to £500, sometimes more if the error is dramatic and clearly visible. Now don't blink, because the rim can tell a powerful story. Is the rim uneven? Thicker on one side? Missing metal along the edge? That could be an off-center strike or a misshaped planchet. These errors jump out immediately to experienced collectors. Off-center early decimal UK coins have sold £4,500 to £2,000 plus. especially when the date and wording are fully visible. Here's another attention reset that most people never hear. Some 1971 5 new Pence coins were struck using worn or cracked dies. This creates raised lines, rough textures, or missing details. Many people assume this is damage, but it's not. It's a mint error, and mint errors equal hidden treasure. Point 1 circulated 1971 5 new Pence coin with dramatic die cracks sold at a specialist auction for nearly £1,000, despite being visibly worn. Condition mattered less than rarity. Now let me stop you right here, because this mistake destroys life-changing value. Do not clean your coin. Cleaning removes surface evidence. Collectors need to authenticate errors. A dirty coin can be worth thousands. A clean coin can be worth face value. That grime might be the reason your coin has big money potential. Now here's where the story gets almost unbelievable. There are persistent collector reports of 1971 5 new Pence coins struck on experimental or transitional blanks, possibly intended for other denominations during the decimal switch. These are extremely rare, and when authenticated, they cause bidding wars. Coins like that don't quietly sell. They explode onto the auction scene. That's why collectors obsess over this year. That's why an old, forgotten coin can turn into hidden treasure. And here's the emotional truth. Most rare coins are not found by experts with white gloves. They're found by everyday people who slow down. And look, that jar in your house, that drawer, that coin you thought was worthless, that's where life-changing value hides, right now. Someone is unknowingly holding a 1971 Elizabeth 5 new Pence coin worth more than their rent, maybe more than their car, maybe more than they ever imagined. The only difference between them and everyone else? They check.so. Here's your cliffhanger. After this video ends, you're going to look at your coins, and there's a real chance that what you find could change everything. Stop. Don't scroll. Because the old, dirty coin you're about to hear about, the one most people ignore or spend without a second thought, has quietly turned into big money. I'm talking hidden treasures, shocking discoveries, and life-changing value hiding in plain sight. If you have ever seen, touched, or owned a 1968 UK Elizabeth 10 new Pence coin, especially one that looks worn, dark, or strange, this could be one of the most important videos you ever watch. Most people think a dirty coin is worthless. That belief has already cost people thousands. Here's the mystery. The year 1968 wasn't meant for everyday pocket change. These coins were struck 3 years before Decimal Day, quietly produced and stockpiled behind closed doors while Britain prepared for the biggest currency change in modern history. The public didn't use them. Shops didn't see them. They sat in vaults while the Royal Mint raced against time. And when mints rush, errors are born. That's how hidden treasure slips into circulation. The 1968 Elizabeth II 10 new Pence coin is large, heavy, and often ugly-looking today. Many are dark. Many look dirty. And that's exactly why people overlook them. But collectors know this coin is a sleeping giant. And when it's wrong in the right way, it becomes big money. Let me reset your attention right here with a fact that shocks even seasoned collectors. Some 1968 10 new Pence coins were never meant to be released at all. A small number escaped early stockpiles, test runs, and experimental batches. Those coins are now among the most hunted decimal-era errors in the UK. And yes, some have sold for hundreds, thousands, and in extreme, museum-grade error cases, eye-watering 5-figure prices. Now slow down, because I'm going to show you exactly how to spot one with life-changing value. First, the date. It must say 1968. Second, the wording. It must read New Pence. That wording alone places it before decimalization. Later coins say pence, and that difference is everything. Third, the size. This is the old, large 10p. Thick, heavy, much bigger than modern 10p coins. If it feels oversized in your hand, you're already in the right territory. Now here comes your first shock. Check the color. A normal 1968 10 new Pence coin should be copper nickel, a dull silver gray. But some rare examples appear yellowish, bronze-toned, or unusually dark. That's not dirt. That can be a wrong metal strike. Wrong planchet errors are among the most valuable UK decimal mistakes ever found. Authenticated wrong metal British decimal coins from the late 1960s and early 1970s have sold at specialist auctions for £1,500 to over £6,000, depending on rarity and confirmation. That dirty coin might actually be hidden treasure. And now let me snap your attention again. Look closely at Queen Elizabeth's portrait. Does it look doubled? Blurry? Slightly shifted? That could be a double-struck coin or a die alignment error. These happened when dies were misseeded during early production runs. Collectors love these errors because they're dramatic and unmistakable that a strong double-struck 1968 10 new pence coin can sell for £400 to £2,000 plus, especially when the doubling is obvious around the lettering and portrait. Now don't blink, because the rim is critical. Run your finger around the edge. Is it uneven? Too thick on one side? Thin or missing metal in spots? That could be an off-center strike or misshaped planchet. Off-center early decimal coins are extremely collectible. Depending on how dramatic the error is, values range from £500 to over £3,000. Here's another shock that resets everything. Some 1968 10 new pence coins were struck using worn or cracked dies. This creates raised lines, strange textures, and missing details. Most people assume damage. Collectors know better. One circulated 1968 10p with clear die cracks sold at a UK specialist auction for nearly £1,200, despite heavy wear. Condition mattered less than rarity. And now, listen carefully, because this mistake destroys life-changing value. Do not clean your coin. Cleaning erases surface evidence that proves authenticity. A dirty coin can be worth thousands. A clean coin can drop to face value. That grime could be the difference between nothing and big money. Now let's talk about something that keeps serious collectors awake at night. There are persistent reports of 1968 10 new pence coins struck on experimental or transitional blanks, possibly intended for other denominations during testing. These are extremely rare. When authenticated, they cause bidding wars. Coins like that don't quietly sell. They explode onto the auction scene. That's why this coin matters. That's why this year matters. And here's the emotional truth. Most rare coins aren't found by experts in labs. They're found by everyday people who stop and look. That old jar, that drawer, that worthless coin you never checked. That's where hidden treasure hides. Right now, someone is unknowingly holding a 1968 Elizabeth II 10 new pence coin worth more than their rent, maybe more than their car, maybe more than they ever imagined. The only difference between them and everyone else? They check.so. Here's your cliffhanger. When this video ends, you're going to look at your coins, and there's a real chance that what you find could change how you see money forever. Stop everything. The old, dirty coin sitting in your pocket, your jar, or your drawer, the one you barely notice, could be big money. I'm talking hidden treasure, jaw-dropping discoveries, and life-changing value that has turned ordinary people into shocked collectors overnight. If you've ever touched a 1983 UK Elizabeth 20 pence coin, especially one that looks grimy, worn, or off, you need to listen closely, because what I'm about to reveal could change everything. Most people see a dirty 20p and think it's worthless. That assumption has already cost collectors thousands of pounds. Here's the mysterious backstory. 1983 wasn't just another year of coinage. This was the early era of the new, smaller 20 pence coin, introduced only 4 years prior, in 1982. The Royal Mint was still perfecting the process. The metal, the size, the dies. Mistakes were happening behind closed doors. Errors that no one expected to survive into circulation. But a few did. These escaped coins are hidden treasure. They sat quietly in pockets, jars, and drawers for decades, unrecognized, until now. Let's reset your attention with the first shocking fact. Some 1983 20p coins were struck on wrong metal planchets, giving them a slightly darker or coppery tint instead of the usual copper nickel silver gray. One collector found such a coin under a pile of change, and when authenticated, it sold at auction for over £1,500. A coin that looked like dirt in a jar became big money overnight. Here's how you can spot a potentially valuable one. Step 1. Check the date. It must be 1983. That single year is critical because it's early in the 20p series, making errors and experimental strikes much more likely. Step 2. Examine the size and shape. The 1983 coin is heptagonal, 7 sides, slightly thicker than later coins. If your coin is lighter, thinner, or looks irregular, that's a red flag. Step 3. Look at the color and tone. The standard coin is silver gray, but a wrong metal or misalloy strike may appear darker, bronzish, or oddly patchy. These subtle differences can hide life-changing value. Let me hit you with another shocking story at a 1983 20p with a slight double strike, where the design looks shadowed, was sold at a London auction £4 200. Most people who saw the coin before it was authenticated would have tossed it in a drawer. The key is understanding that these mistakes are what collectors hunt for. Step 4. Check the rim. Is it uneven, thicker on one side, or maybe slightly off-center? That's an off-center strike, one of the most dramatic errors you can find. Depending on severity, off-center 1983 20p coins can sell anywhere from £500 to over £3,000. And the errors don't stop there. Some 1983 20p coins show clipped planchets, where a small section of the coin is missing because the blank was improperly cut. Others show die cracks, raised lines, or rough textures caused by stressed minting dies. One heavily circulated 1983 20p with prominent die cracks sold at a specialist auction £4 200, despite its wear. That's the power of hidden treasure. Even dirty coins can bring big money. Here's a detail most collectors miss. The Queen's portrait itself can reveal secrets. In some 1983 coins, the portrait appears slightly doubled or blurry due to die misalignment. This isn't damage, it's a mint error, and it makes the coin far more desirable. Double-struck 20p coins from this era regularly fetch £300, £500, depending on how pronounced the doubling is. Now let's raise the stakes. Some of the rarest 1983 20p coins were struck on experimental or transitional blanks, possibly intended for testing different alloys or trial strikes. These are so rare that when one surfaces at auction, it becomes life-changing value overnight. Collectors will bid aggressively, sometimes thousands of pounds, for just one verified coin. Do not make this mistake. Never clean your coin. Cleaning can destroy the very surface evidence collectors need to verify authenticity. That grime may be the reason your coin has hidden treasure value. Dirty coins are often the most valuable. Here's another attention grabber: a single 1983 20p coin, slightly off-center and with a faint die crack across the Queen's shoulder, recently sold in the UK £4 200. That coin sat in someone's drawer for decades, overlooked, until it was carefully examined. Big money really is hiding in plain sight. And here's the truth you need to hear. Most rare coins aren't discovered by professional collectors. They're discovered by everyday people, people who pause, look closely, and notice what others dismiss. That jar of old coins on your kitchen counter, that dusty drawer, that worthless 20p. One of them might be your life-changing treasure. Imagine this. Somewhere right now, someone is holding a 1983 Elizabeth II 20p coin worth more than their monthly paycheck. Maybe more than their car. Maybe even more than they ever imagined. The only difference between them and everyone else? They looked. They noticed a S. Oh, here's your cliffhanger. After this video ends, you're going to check your coins, and there's a real chance that what you find could be hidden treasure coins that turn big money from old, dirty, seemingly worthless change. Stop right there. That old, dirty 50p coin in your pocket, your drawer, or your jar, the one you barely notice, could be big money. I'm talking hidden treasure, life-changing value, and coins that have shocked collectors by selling for hundreds, thousands, even tens of thousands of pounds. If you've ever seen a 1997 UK Elizabeth 50p coin, especially one that looks grimy, worn, or just off, you need to listen carefully, because what I'm about to reveal could change everything. Most people think a dirty coin is worthless. That belief has already cost people serious money. Here's the mysterious backstory. 1997 was a year of quiet chaos at the Royal Mint. Production was rushed. Human error was everywhere. And the 50p coin? It was the perfect candidate for mistakes. This was the old, large 50p, heavier and thicker than today's coin, and in 1997, the Mint was experimenting with trial strikes, planchet tests, and even die adjustments. Some coins never should have reached circulation, but a few did. And those are now hidden treasure. Let's reset your attention with a shocking fact. Some 1997 50p coins were struck on wrong metal blanks, giving them a slightly darker or oddly toned finish compared to standard copper-nickel coins. One collector found such a coin in a jar of change. It looked dirty, almost bronze-colored, and when authenticated, it sold at auction for over £3,000. That worthless coin became big money overnight. Now here's how you can spot a potentially valuable 1997 50p. First, the date. It must be 1997. That single year is critical. Second, check the size and weight. This is the old, large 50p. If it feels chunky and substantial in your hand, you're already in the right zone. Third, examine the color. Normal 50p coins are silver gray, but wrong metal or experimental strikes might appear darker, yellowish, or slightly bronze. These subtle differences can hide life-changing value. Now let me hit you with another shock. Look closely at the strike quality. Do the letters look doubled? Does the portrait of Queen Elizabeth appear slightly shadowed or misaligned? That could be a double strike or a die shift error. Collectors love these errors because they're dramatic and unmistakable. A strong double-struck 1997 50p can fetch £300 to £500, depending on severity and condition. Next, check the rim. Is it uneven? Thicker on one side? Thin or missing in spots? That could be an off-center strike, one of the most dramatic errors in UK coins. Off-center 50p coins from the 1990s have sold for £500 to over £2,000, depending on the degree of misalignment. Here's another shocking fact you won't hear from casual collectors. Some 1997 50p coins were struck using damaged or cracked dies, which can create raised lines, unusual textures, or missing details. One heavily circulated coin with a die crack sold at a UK auction for £200, proving that even dirty coins can hold hidden treasure. And here's the mistake most people make. Do not clean your coin. Cleaning can erase microscopic evidence that proves authenticity. That grime might be the difference between a 50p worth face value and a coin with life-changing value. Let's raise the stakes even higher. There are whispered reports of 1997 50p coins struck on experimental or transitional blanks, possibly intended for other denominations or test strikes. These are extremely rare. When authenticated, they trigger bidding wars, sometimes pushing prices well into the thousands of pounds. Here's a real auction story that will reset your attention. A 1997 50p, heavily worn and grimy, was discovered in a jar of coins. It had a slight double strike and minor die cracks, and when authenticated and sold, it fetched £200. That's a coin most people would have thrown into circulation without a second thought. Now check the Queen's portrait. Some coins show subtle doubling or misalignment, especially around the lettering and hair. These aren't flaws, they're mint errors, and they significantly increase value. A visually obvious double-struck 50p can fetch £500, £2,000 at auction. And here's the emotional truth. Most rare coins aren't found by experts in labs. They're found by ordinary people who pause, look carefully, and notice what others dismiss. That jar in your kitchen, that drawer, that worthless 50p, one of them could be hidden treasure waiting for you. Imagine this. Someone right now is holding a 1997 Elizabeth 50p coin worth more than their monthly rent, maybe more than their car, maybe more than they ever imagined. The only difference between them and everyone else? They checked. Here's your cliffhanger. After this video ends, you're going to check your coins. And there's a real chance that what you find could be big money, hidden treasure, or life-changing value.